So I'm here with Shiv Arora of Cytonn Investments, head of private equity, to give us an update about the business. They have just recently gotten funding of 2.1 billion shillings. He's going to be letting us know what that will be used for. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you very much.
All right. You've been in business for, I don't know how many years?
Fifth calendar.
Fifth calendar, right? Just let us know, how has the journey been from being nothing to getting such significant, huge amounts of money from investors?
Okay. So Cytonn is structured as an independent investment manager, but really where our differentiation comes is that we have the ability to have both financing capability, which is done through our Cytonn Investments arm, and development capability. If you look at this market, there's a lot of global capital that is seeking returns, but they don't know how to do development, so they don't have the product. There's a lot of product in this market, but they don't know how to structure real estate as an investment instrument. So really where we come in is in the middle, having the investment arm to raise global capital and having the development arm which deploys the capital and builds institutional grade real estate. In terms of where we started from, our partnership with Thallery began in the year 2014, and over the next 1 year from then, in a series of subsequent fundraisers, we raised and deployed close to 3 billion Kenya shillings from their first fund, of which we have also exited out of 2 and returned capital back to their investors. This is now part of their second fundraise, where from the first investment they are making from their second fund has been with Cytonn. It's another 2.1 billion Kenya shillings, so about $50 million to 5 billion Kenya shillings has been committed by Thallery towards Cytonn projects. If you look at where Thallery is positioned, they are positioned in Europe, a lot of capital, but very little growth. So they have had to look into the African real estate opportunity, which is very attractive for them to be able to deliver capital. How we have done it has been through the use of structured finance. If you look at this market, you have to structure real estate as an investment product for you to be able to attract funding. When you do that, you will develop institutional grade real estate. Our products are targeted towards the mid-income, so really helping to, number one, provide institutional grade real estate, reduce the housing deficit, improve standards of living, develop neighborhoods. So through that capital, we can now deploy it into our real estate projects. One of the projects where the capital will be going into is the Ridge in Ridgeways, which is over 800 units. It's a comprehensive mixed-use development on 10 acres. It's got a retail center, commercial center, and hospitality as well.
Oh, quite interesting. But one thing that has impressed me is that you had already given back the money. I think the 3 billion that the investors had put, and they got back the money in such a short time. How is that possible?
The exits which are done through any real estate investment are done through sales which you generate from your development. If you look at Cytonn, really where our capability is developing quality products which the market wants. So we first start with research, because research helps you identify the parcel of a location, the right parcel of land, and putting in the right concept. When you have the right concept, you'll see that the market takes it up. So for all of our projects, sales is much ahead of construction. That allows you to receive cash flows and be able to repay back your investors.
All right. Recently, I saw an advert of you looking to get into affordable housing. Maybe you could tell us a bit more on that.
Yeah. Affordable housing is obviously one of the biggest pillars of the government's Big Four agenda. If you look at the housing deficit, it's 2 million units. It's growing by effectively 150,000 units every year. When we looked at it from Cytonn's perspective, we said, what needs to be done in order to actually achieve this goal and develop this housing agenda? So we formed the Cytonn Center for Affordable Housing. It's a standalone initiative which is working to put together a consortium which will actually tackle the affordable housing agenda of the government. It needs a couple of things. It needs innovative building technology. It needs you to be able to partner with government for you to be able to get the right sites and the right target demographic towards filling this agenda. And then third is that it needs the right financing. So you need to be able to structure financing in such a way as to deploy it into affordable housing. So the Cytonn Center for Affordable Housing, that's the main key focus. We are putting in a lot of work, and soon you'll be hearing a lot more about the affordable housing initiative that we are going to be doing as Cytonn. For us, it's a key pillar to help the government.
Right. Is it 2.1 billion also going to affordable housing?
So the 2.1 billion is going into our current real estate projects and other projects which we will be doing in the future. So it's across the portfolio of 10 projects, which is now 82 billion.
Okay. So more affordable housing. I don't know if you can give me more details about what we're expecting from you. Where are you planning to build the houses? By when are we expecting to see the first products coming on board?
Really, for us, where we are now is at the research stage and putting together the right partnership to be able to tackle this. We don't want to jump into it without first understanding where is the target market, what will be the uptake, how will we structure it so that it's actually affordable to the end user. So that's the work which we are doing. As we do more and more work, we will be keeping everyone informed.
All right. Is affordable housing going to be realistic? Is it realistic for government and for everyone else? Is it realistic?
Definitely, it's realistic. What needs to be done is that the private sector needs to be enabled by the government in order to actually deliver this affordable housing, which means...
What do you mean by enable?
You need to create a conducive environment for what they're doing. And you first must commend government on the work that they've already done. It's fantastic to actually put it down as an agenda, identify partners, people who they want to be working with. So now it needs to go to the next step. Where are the land parcels? How are we going to be able to provide construction subsidies? What is the tax benefits that are going to be there? How will we enable cheaper capital to come into the market? So by the government working in conjunction with the private sector, it will be a deliverable, and it's a realistic agenda.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.